Esther boys.
Yay! Thank you!
What's happening?
Yes, Joe.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having us.
Finally.
Loving having you on. So, gonna ask me first question. Get the episode started. A bit of an icebreaker question. So, what is your go-to chippy order?
Oh. Don't have chippies.
No, we don't have chippies. We eat the healthy.
Sausage supper, chips, curry sauce on the side.
Come on. Not even like a one-off now?
No, of course we do. Of course we do.
Yeah.
That's his pre-match. Chippies is
What I'm
pre-match.
What's your go-to, Joe?
Oh, I don't know. I have a bit of a mix. It depends where I'm eating, to be honest. But I'll probably mainly go for probably chicken satay. I'm a big fan.
Ooh, very nice.
It's a shout, like. Love it.
Very nice. Don't mind chicken satay, mate.
Yeah, man. So I'll go on to the main part. So you were both born and raised in very similar cities in Glasgow and Liverpool, respectively. So what schools did you attend, primary and secondary?
Primary school, I went to St. Vincent de Paul. That's right by my ma's. It's like a 2-minute walk. It's a school that the family and all that went to. So it was just in us, as a family. Secondary school, I spent the first year at one in Dingle. Its name's now changed a lot now. But then I spent the rest in Raynhill. That's to do with the club. Yeah, that's me.
I went to primary in a school called St. Joseph's or St. Joe's, named after you.
Joe, Symes.
And then high school, secondary school, I went to St. Ninians. So both of them were just close to where I was brought up. So yeah, it was the easiest for me to get to, and yeah, it was good, to be fair.
Yeah, son. So which city's better, Liverpool or Glasgow? I have to throw that one in there.
Easier for a reason. He's in our city for a reason. There's only one city.
I like Liverpool, Joe. Got a lot of time for it. Glasgow's home, though.
Fair enough.
Glasgow's home. But Liverpool's the closest I've ever had to being away from home, very settled. I love Scotland, but I'm very settled in Liverpool, so I suppose that's saying something, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So what are your first memories of playing for the team, whether it was a Saturday or a Sunday team or primary school maybe?
I would say
This was only about 4 years ago, wasn't it?
mine would probably be my primary school lad. Like just every day in the yard, I'd always just be playing and stuff. With the older lads, there was always a bunch of us. It was just fun and games. It was always good to always win. It was always competition between you and your mates and stuff. But yeah, it was always fun. As I said, yeah, it was competitive, but that's who I am now. I love the game, but I'm competitive at the same time.
Yeah.
It's the same. I think you fall in love with football so early on, and then all you want to do is just play it. Do you know what I mean? In school, at weekends, playing with your mates, playing with little teams and stuff like that. It was just, I always played football. Football was my life, very early on, and I was always very active as a child, and that was my way of kind of releasing a lot of energy and probably tiring myself out, which helped my mum and dad. So I think we're all the same, but that's how you get competitive. I hate losing when I was young, hate losing when I'm now still the age I'm at, but earliest memories is just playing with my mates, enjoying it, running around the the playground, and at every break possible.
So as you got older, did you have any other plans for what you wanted to do when you left school, or was it just to be a professional footballer?
It was always to be a professional footballer. I was leaving in school because I was always with football and stuff. There was times when I'd always have to catch up on that at work, because it was always good to have the grades and stuff, just as like a backup. But I always had one goal, and that was to be a footballer. And I'm fortunate enough to be in the position that I'm in now. So yeah.
I was a bit later, Joe. I finished school. I didn't turn pro at football until I was 19, I think. So
Really, yeah?
yeah, had to have backup plans. I worked in Marks and Spencer's before. Christmas job, just going through with the Percy pigs like beep, beep. So Yeah, that gave me a bit of money then, and then I took a year out to focus on my football. But before I got Dundee United, I'd applied to universities, colleges, and things like that. But I'd done something in sport, sports coach, PE teacher, something like that. So I probably had to have a bit more of a backup plan. But I was similar to Kurt in school. It was all about football, really. Do you know what I mean? It was all about sports. It was all about trying to be active. I wasn't good at just sitting still in class. I'm sure, you know, my younger teachers would agree with me there. So it was always football. But yeah, I probably had to have a bit more of a backup plan, maybe.
Yeah, so obviously when you were younger, Robbo, you played for Celtic, which was your boyhood team, and you were released for being too small.
Alright, Joe.
No, sorry, come on. It's okay. So how did that feel, and did that make you more determined to succeed?
Yeah, look, you know, obviously I was still young. You know, I was probably similar age to what you are now, you know, 14, 15. And, you know, Celtic was like Liverpool is to Curtis and yourself. And, you know, Celtic was everything to me. You know, still support them today. But, you know, when you're kind of at that age, you just kind of play with them and you don't, you know, I don't think you expect anything to really go wrong. Do you know what I mean? You just kind of play football and you don't know, you know, how serious that it can get. But that was the first time I ever had somebody that doubted me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Celtic was changing a bit then. So, you know, a new kind of head of youth came in and clearly didn't fancy me, and that was the first time, you know, somebody doubted me as a footballer. So it made me determined to prove him wrong. You know, I've had more doubters along the way, of course I have, but you know, the more they get, the more I want to prove them wrong. So I was already pretty determined. I wanted to achieve a dream of playing football professionally, and but that just gave me a wee bit more fire in my belly, I think, and got me through a couple of tough years, and then you know, luckily everything fell into place. But it was down to hard work, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You also played a lot of lower league football. Do you think that helped you to become the player that you are today?
Yeah, look, I always say it because I look at Curtis, I look at Trent, you know, that have went through the kind of youth academy, and there's no easy way to becoming a professional footballer. You know, there's different paths everyone takes, different routes, and there's no easy way. But you know, the route I took, I really enjoy. You know, being able to play in the lowest league in Scotland, learning so much in that season. You know, toughening up probably, being able to handle myself a wee bit more, and then, you know, that only lasted one season, and then obviously go to Dundee United, which the SPL isn't, you know, the same standard as the Premier League. So that was another education for me, another part of my journey. And yeah, I think it definitely toughened me up. It definitely made me realise what football was like, what, you know, it's a cutthroat industry, and you had to be tough, you had to look after yourself, and you know, that certainly gave me a bit more bite on the football pitch, that's for sure.
Yeah, so this is probably aimed at both of you. Do you miss playing in the park with all your mates without any pleasure?
I still do.
When I go up to Glasgow, I still do it as well. I still go to the five-a-side pitches and have a kick about with my mates. You know, I love it. My mates are probably a bit unfitter than they used to be, that's for sure. But look, I don't think you ever lose it. You know, Kurt's the same, but I don't think you ever lose wanting to play football. You know, in the summer I get bored, and I just want to play with my brother or play with my mates, and I'll just, you know, I'll go down to the park. So not as regular, but we still do it.
Yeah, so moving on to as Liverpool, the city and its people. So what do you love about Liverpool as a city?
Do you want me to speak from me? Or are you going to
I
speak
can answer
from?
and then you can say what you, because
Go on then.
probably should. I think, you know, what you've touched on, Joe, is the people for me, because coming down from Scotland and coming from a city like Glasgow, for me it was very hard to always find people that were very similar. And I think, you know, Scousers and, you know, people from Liverpool are very similar to Glaswegians, do you know what I mean? And it made me feel at home straight away. It made me be able to connect with the people connected to the club, such as the fans, the staff that work here, the communities around. And I think when you play, you know, obviously I've moved clubs, but I think it's important that you connect with the club. And for me, this was definitely the easiest, because like I said, the people in Liverpool and the people in Glasgow are very, very similar, and that's what made it so easy for me and my family to settle in.
I'd say the same thing as well, though, if I'm honest. I've always said this, like, it doesn't matter if you're in London or Scotland or anything. I think if you see a Scouser, or like you hear the Scouse accent, and then Scousers like always kind of like click up, it's always like a family thing. So that would be like my main thing that I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. So, playing footy with your mates, and you look like mates on and off the pitch. So, does that help?
Yeah, 100%. I'd say. I mean, for like a young lad that's came in the team, you want to find your feet in as soon as possible. And having the likes of Robbo, Trent, Hendo and all them have been around me and have guided me well, and I settled in well, I settled in fast, and now it's just a joy.
It's obviously me playing for Bootle. That's what the best part about it for me as well. Like playing with your mates, everyone's dead friendly around you. That's what helps, making you feel in like a comfortable surrounding and that. So that's the best part about it, innit?
Here's a question for you, Joe.
Go on.
Boo or Liverpool?
I can't put me on the spot like that. Come on.
Well, I just have.
Oh.
It's your podcast. You need to answer it.
Oh, Liverpool.
Yes, go on, Joe.
Love it.
Got it, haven't I? So do you know, obviously in like the WhatsApp groups and that, there's obviously probably lots of videos and GIFs around there. Does that stuff get sent to you quite a lot? Like around the WhatsApp groups?
We're obviously in a big one from the kind of training ground. It's mostly the gaffer just putting in. The gaffer loves putting in videos, to be fair.
Coffee orders.
The
coffee orders are big.
So we play young v old before every game, and whoever's the worst player in the losing team has to go get coffees. So we always put in our coffee orders, and Trent or Abu has to go and get it. It's usually between they two. So, but no, the thing is, we're around each other so much that when we go home, we don't want to speak to each other. So the group chats are probably relatively quiet, but obviously we've had a bit of time off last week, and the group chats were probably a wee bit more lively because we're around each other all the time, so you start missing each other. Of course you do.
Yeah, definitely. Curtis, for you as well, as obviously a video out there of you reacting to a win, going what a win that was then.
Let me put that out there, because I always see this year and what a win that was then is making this. I was told to basically say a line, but then I didn't think that's how a Scouser would kind of speak, so I've put it into like my own way. I didn't think anything of it. It was after I don't even know we played. It was after like a game, and all of a sudden it's become this massive.
I've not seen it.
You've never seen it. It's become like a massive like viral thing. As soon as we win, I just know on my Twitter, what a win that was, them Reds. After everything, but that's a video of me standing there.
That's my caption after the next win.
Yes. No, but it's a selfie video as well. And I'm saying it must have been like one of my first games. I didn't have a clue what was going on, and they gave me a line, and it didn't really sound like that's how I would speak. So I was like, I'm going to say my own thing, and I've said it. And from then it just went viral. I didn't even think anything of it. It was mad.
The thing is, Joe, the staff behind the cameras at Liverpool, they always try and stitch us up. You know what I mean? They just ask us to do stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So obviously
sometimes we get stitched up.
So I was watching that video. I mean, the way you obviously saying you put it across is, it's got to be one of the Scousers' reactions to a win ever. Gotta be.
That's what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean?
Just representing, isn't it?
Just representing it.
Do you like it when that stuff gets sent to you, or because it gets sent to you a lot, does it do your head in?
Nah, it's a laugh, innit?
Yeah.
It's part of the game. Well, I mean, especially if you win. You know what I mean? It's always just a laugh and a bit of a buzz. But if you lose, of course, you're not going to see it. And there's probably times when the comments aren't great and stuff. So if you ever lose or anything like that, I just stay away from like the social part of the stuff. And but I think that's normal anyway.
Yeah, defo. So you lads do so much media work, like with the press and that. So what's the one question that you get asked pretty much the most, or like the question you get asked that you hate the most?
how many assists are you on compared to Trent? Nah, to be fair, like every game's different. You know what I mean? So you get answered you get asked questions different to the results in every game. Obviously, just now it's a bit like, after every win, can you catch Man City? Can you do this? Can you do that? And it's, you can only answer it so much, because at the end of the day, you need to win games. The gap's still, big. Man City are still in the driving seat and everything like that. So you can only answer it so much, but we understand that the journalists have to ask these kind of questions. They have to put it out to their viewers and things like that. But like I said, that's where you get used to answering these questions. You get better at answering them, and it's just about trying to protect yourself in them, really.
So obviously, this is something I want to do when I go older, like doing interviews and match reports, which I do at Bootle. So is there any advice for you that could make this for me more enjoyable?
Don't do it. Nah, I think like we've came across good reporters, not so good reporters, everything like that. I think as long as you can kind of connect with the player, I always think that's important. When I think with the best people I do interviews with, it's always best that they connect to you as a person, not a footballer as such. Do you know what I mean? I know they're asking footballing questions, but you can still talk to them as if we're not robots. Do you know what I mean? And I think
more just like a laugh and like a flow. You know what I mean? Just like,
and not repetitive questions. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Mix it up. Like if you say, for instance, we hope you do it as a job and say you cover Liverpool every single game. Don't ask Klopp the same questions all the time, because he will go through you. He won't be happy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've just got to mix it up. I think you've just got to do your research, mix it up, ask the right questions, but be relatable to the player as well.
Have you got any questions you want to ask me?
I do, yeah, personally.
Yeah, go on.
I want to ask you who has been the best people on your podcast?
I mean, I've had a couple. I interviewed one lad. Come on, gotta be used to, hasn't it? Gotta be.
Ready to get up, walk out there.
Oh, come on, gotta be used to.
Who's your dream interview? Doesn't have to be Liverpool. Anyone.
I mean, Liverpool. Probably. Obviously, Jamie Carragher would be was a big cast, because growing up I only seen briefly him, and obviously seen him on the telly on Sky Sports and that. Steven Gerrard obviously is my childhood hero personally. What grew up idolising him and all sorts. So it's got to be one of him. It's got to be one of them too.
Stevie, Jamie, if you're watching this, listening to this, get on the podcast.
Thanks for that.
That's all I can do for you. It's the best I can do.
Sounds. That's all questions I've got for you. Thank you for taking time out your day to do this with me today. I do appreciate it more than anything.
No, thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
Samesy! Top man, Joe, thanks very much for that.
Keep enjoying your podcast, okay?
Whoa, Joe, I can see me getting a tap on the shoulder there.
Do you want to do this?
Joe, just before you go, our family partner, Joy Baby, I've got a little gift for you.
To help take your podcast to the next level.
We're talking about the next level.
We're talking about Carragher, Gerrard. That's the next level. So, Joe, they're kindly going to pay for some brand new equipment so that you can keep doing your brilliant work. You tell us what you need, new mics, whatever, and they'll sort it out. So what I would suggest is just write down everything. Yeah. If your family need a new sofa, new tellies, new house, anything, write it down and try your best to get anything.
Yeah, that's brilliant, boss lads. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, Joe! What a guy!
Thanks, lads.